At the senior management level or buy-in that we've gotten here from building senior management support, it was a cascade approach, no matter who you're working with, because a lot of times if I want to approach a school, it may not just be the senior management team, not even the board, it could be a local authority who would start, who it could go up and up and up and get yes from everyone all the way around. You get their local authority and that could be no. And a prime example was we needed a peppercorn rent for a 24 metre square little bit of an allotment plot. And our guy said yes, the school said yes, the diocese said yes. The kids really wanted to have it, the teacher wanted it, the headmaster wanted it, the board of governors wanted it, the local authority said no, we're not going to let you see that land. Okay, so we just stopped. So that's, I think, it's a cascade approach from whoever could be the initial or the end stopper.
I think that when you get from in the school situation, when you get staff, if you've got senior management on side, you then need to get the rest of the staff on side, and that they need to feel ownership. But that's got to be done and renewed because it's forgotten, and everything gets lost in the busyness of time. So you have to continually reinforce that and make sure that it's on the agenda, and not just brushed under the carpet. Not, oh, we've done that, but
we're still doing it.
That's the problem, I think, with the whole of sustainability, is that people think it's a one-off and we've ticked the box, we've done it, we need to push it away, let's do something else. But at the same time, with the whole education sector, it's a continual change, and teachers are pressured, so therefore they're trying to have to meet their targets, but at the same time deliver additional ones as well. And sort of going back to your event, you know, sometimes we have to face failure. I'm not saying that it's good to fail, but we need to face failure to have an understanding and also an awareness, because that will then help us move forward and make additional changes next time. You know, we're in a society now that we have to make sure that everything is good, and we praise people, which is brilliant, but we also have to come back and realise that yes, we can't always achieve that. There is a reality that there is some form of failure as well, but moving forward from that failure in a positive aspect and not holding on to it.
There's something about the ethos of the establishment and how it affects people at different stages in their careers, both young people, children in school, and adults in the workplace. And we've felt that this build capacity with training and support didn't quite cover it. It's about people having the confidence to do things and know what they're able to do at different stages, because things can grind to a halt if you are in an organisation which won't let you, as the example just given, really. And if you're in year 10 and not expected to be able to make decisions at a particular level across the piece in your experience of school, then you won't suddenly be able to make decisions because you're leading on a project.
Any thoughts on that point? Anyone else thought about that?
I don't know. There's a bit of an issue with staff as well, because if more experienced staff know the ropes in an institution, they know what they can do. They know if they can take children off timetable, or if everyone's going to complain. The schools is a bit of an issue.
Is that another argument for getting people involved in lots of different...
Sorry, I can't quite hear.
Is that another argument for getting people involved in lots of different levels?
Yes, that really is the job of the management, the leadership team, to do that, to enable that to happen, I'd say.
I mean, I agree with, because if you've got your new bod coming in, who's going to say, ask a question, get the children to do something that's never been done before, rather than the school saying, well, we don't do it like that. That's where, if they've got the support of the senior management teams, and you can look at it and say, well, why can't we do it like that? Let's try something new. But just a new teacher coming in completely on their own with no senior management support, then you're right, they're not going to make that happen.
And at the same time, you'll turn off the newbies into the school as well, to the point that they'll think, oh well, we just won't bother doing it, and then things will then stop. Yes. Yeah.
Or they're given something else to do that they see as an avenue for promotion. I saw that happen with 3 young teachers who were given things like leading in learning, which they saw was an avenue to promotion. Taken right out of the equation. So, yeah.
What was some of your discussions around particular steps?
We tried to put them in order.
How did you get on?
Well, interestingly, we got quite a few steps down and suddenly realised that we hadn't put involving the young people in there.
What was that? What do you think that was about?
I don't know. I think we looked at it from a very much an adult orientated point of view, despite the fact we've got a young person on our table anyway.
So what was the thing on your sort of ordering them? What was sort of top? What did you have first?
I think identifying the need.
The need?
Yeah.
Can you say a bit more about that? Why did you think
Well, I'm from
that
a
was-
private organisation anyway, so
Yeah,
people
what,
in the school
what to the
would
table?
I think it's an element of trying to make unsustainable practices taboo. I mean, everyone here who's got a dog will clean up after it now. But 10 years ago, that wasn't the norm in this country. But somehow we've managed to make it very taboo to do that. You know, you shouldn't drink or drive in England, but I know 20 years ago that was much more prevalent. So it was top down, but also it's been accepted bottom up as well. And I just think we need to try to somehow make that the appetite in schools and in society, but we just don't, and I don't know why, but I suppose it's because we don't have government appetite for it. But until that happens, but that's kind of indicative of senior management just making sure that they're on board, because if they're not, then people just don't have that kind of, fear is probably the wrong word, but that kind of reason to do something. But it just shows we can change like mass behaviour. But yeah, but we just don't.
And we had a conversation about senior management and understanding what the drivers are for people, and it may not be because they see the value of participation may not be their driver. It may be that the routine is to show that young people, through young people's ideas, they can actually help save money, or change the way things are done. And for some decision makers, that will be a powerful hook. It may not be the ideal kind of entry point, but we have to start where people are and build that kind of learning and knowledge and understanding. We want to spend the last few minutes to enable you to reflect on the model, reflect on the practical steps you've just looked at, and identify across those practical steps what is one thing now that you're going to commit to doing after today that is going to move you closer to either to this sort of broader approach and embedding a culture of participation. So we'd like you to choose one thing that you're going to do. It could be related to those different steps, and one of those has hit home and you think, actually, I want to go back and start to move that. Or you might have identified one that's missing from there that you want to take forward. Okay, well I hope some of you've been able to identify something realistic that you can move forward, and I hope the kind of journey we've taken you on the model's been a helpful way of reflecting on participation, and particularly the journey we all need to go on really to embed a kind of meaningful and sustainable approach. The practical steps that you looked at are in the context of a 4-stage model that building a culture of participation talks about if you want to really embed a culture of participation. And it's unfreeze, catalyse, internalise and institutionalise. I'm not going to, we don't have the time to go into it now, but if you're interested in finding out more about this approach or this the model or some very practical examples of participation, do go to the Participation Works website. It's also at the bottom of your pledge form. And as I said, that's a consortium of organisations who've come together to share effective practice and evidence around participation. It does have a range of tools and resources on it. Rachel, did you want to say anything else?
No, just to say that there is a lot of interesting information, and then Participation Works can also provide some support to people as well if they're looking at.
Thank you.